doing a new video, and as you can tell from the title, this one is a mess. So basically, I'm not going to say some of the things because they're a little intimate, but I have had a very active weekend, and I went to Disney on Sunday, and I did some writings with friends, I got some words in, and some things on Monday, and then I also went to prenatal yoga. So when I was around 13 to 14 weeks, 12 to 13 weeks with my pre-prom last year, I lost my mucus plug, and then 2 weeks after that, my water broke, right? So I've been in that weird moment of like, have we gotten to that same part? Like, are we going to possibly, am I going to lose my mucus plug again, et cetera, et cetera? And so I've been having that kind of struggle, but I've also been really positive because I haven't had any weird discharge or anything like that during this pregnancy. So I was like, oh, I have no reason to be afraid, at least right now, for any point. And then all that activity happened, and I walked around at Disney from like 11 a.m. to like 7 p.m. and I went to the movies, all that kind of stuff. I just was doing too much. Your girl was doing way too much to be pregnant and to be having these issues. And so I started having this really weird discharge, but it wasn't like normal. So this isn't like TMI. It wasn't like a normal discharge like for an infection or anything. It felt like and looked like the same thing that I had last year. So with my pre-prom baby, it looked like my mucus plug. So at first I was just kind of like, it could be just my body forming it because this is around that time that it forms, but I'm pretty sure last year it formed and then it fell, and that's kind of how it worked. That's not a scientific way to put it. Don't use that as any kind of example or any kind of science. That's just how it felt. And so this year I was like, hopefully it's just my mucus plug forming and it's not that it's coming out again, right? So I texted my doctor and I basically was like, this is how I'm feeling, et cetera, et cetera. And she was just kind of like, well, with those activities and also with you're walking around all these, it was kind of like, it's essentially like working out. Because of that, this is totally normal. You're pregnant, your body's going to do stuff like that, etc. So at first I felt okay. I felt fine with it. I cried a little bit. Like I cried like 3 tears. And then I can see the computer is lagging again. Oh well, just going to have to deal with it. So then I got to school and I was in class and I found out that the MFM office had called me about the surgery. So they basically called and they were like, your surgery is going to be on the 20th. It starts at 9. It's scheduled at 9. So you need to be there at least by 7 o'clock so that they can get you prepped, etc. And then this lady went through again the risk. And of course, I feel like I already knew the risk of the surgery. I mean, I already talked about it in my other video. But this, on top of the fact that I already kind of felt like I was losing my mucus plug, like on top of just, normal, worry, I don't know what happened. I freaked out. Like, I can't even tell you how bad it was. I freaked out. So she goes, the first risk is that you might get an infection. The second risk is that the baby might get an infection. The third risk is that they might accidentally break your water during the surgery. And then the fourth is the fact that they could do the surgery and then I could lose the baby for something not even related to my cervix. And these are things I knew, of course, if you see my other videos. But I was like, okay, I stayed calm enough to finish the call, to write down the information that I needed for the surgery, etc. And I stayed calm enough to drive home. But it was like the second I got home, I just was like, oh my God, my baby is going to die. And I just started weeping. And I cried and I cried. And I went to my guy was playing his game in our loft. And so I went to the bathroom and I cried in the bathroom. And then he comes knocking on the door. Hey, baby, you okay? What's wrong? Is the baby okay? And I'm like, everything is not okay. I was really crying so much. And so, I come out of the bathroom And he's like giving me a hug and stuff, and we talk about all the good things that could happen after the surgery, like the fact that it might keep my cervix closed, and that we wouldn't have to worry about my water breaking again for this specific reason. Crying bad. Anyway, and so I was fine, right? Everything was fine. So fast forward through the rest of the night, into the next day, into I went to a couple of classes, and then I get home and I start having a ton of discharge. And I mean way more than the day before. And it was still stretchy and it was still mucusy. And my brain instantly said, this is the mucus plug. I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care what the doctor said. This is exactly what I saw last year, and that's that, right? Anyway, so I text my doctor and I'm just like, I'm having way more discharge. Like, what should I do? Can I go to the hospital, get checked out, etc.? I'm not able to go see her in that location anymore because I don't work at that job anymore. So apparently I'm not approved for that location. So I wasn't able to see her yesterday. And so I was like, can I just go to triage and have them check? And she's just like, you can always go to triage and at least, they'll assure you, etc. And so then, basically I text my guy and I tell him what's going on. He's at work. Thank God he didn't have to work all day. And I got to the hospital and I am weeping. I'm crying so hard in the hospital. And there were a couple of other women there that were crying. There were pregnant ladies over there. There was a chick with a newborn. I just was getting triggers from left and right. And then there was this cute little girl that kept saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, no. No, I'm not okay. You're making it worse because you're so adorable. You keep asking me if I'm okay, like you really care. Oh. Really. Anyway, so I can't get up. Anyway, so because having discharge is not an emergency, and I am feeling tired all of a sudden. Because having discharge is not an emergency, everyone else and their mama was able to go in front of me, which I understand. I completely understand that. But where I was at that point was just, I was in such distress that I was like, come on. I've been sitting here for an hour and a half and no one has even tried to talk to me. And then Tony got off work and he's like, do you want me to come? And I'm like, yeah, please. Because I don't know if I can be here by myself. Please. And so he comes, and then we get into the room, and then he steps out to go get some food because we don't know how long it'll take. Sometimes it takes hours. And the doctor comes in, and he's just like explaining how it's a little too early to check the cervix and everything. How right now all that they can feel right now is just half cervix and half uterus, so it really is hard to tell if the cervix is short or not, at least until the 16 to 17 weeks, etc. Which is always scary to me when they say that, because my water broke at 15 weeks. It don't matter to me whether it's hard to check the cervix at this point. For me and someone who's been through that, your cervix can clearly shorten that early because my water broke. Like, it'd be different if my water broke when I was like 20 weeks and they're like, oh, we're not going to check you till 17. Like, even then, I mean, I still would have, been worried, but at least, then I would be like, okay, I'm within the time frame. But for me and what happened to me, everything was so early. Mucus plug at 12 weeks, water break at 15 weeks, delivery at 19 weeks. Everything happened so early, and so I'm basically like, don't make me wait, please, because I don't think that I have the luxury of waiting. And so he basically checked. My cervix is closed, and that's about all we can see. I don't have an infection. My body was basically like either making the mucus plug or doing more. I don't know. But it was so scary. And I just, yesterday, or the day before yesterday, when I first had my mini breakdown, I just could not stop saying, like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can go through this, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just so hard. I feel like I am such a positive person, and I'm excited, and I can't wait to have this baby. I just finished doing the registry. I'm such a positive person, and I'm excited about life, and etc. And it's hard for me to be afraid all the time. And I don't mean for my life, or, you know, afraid of other people, because I've had that before. I've been abused before. I've been attacked before. I've had these very traumatic things happen to me. And this is by far the scariest thing that I've ever been through. The fact that I keep like forming these humans that I want to grow, and I want to nurture, and I want to raise as my own, and they keep dying. And to think that, oh, this is the time, and then, you know, it's so topsy-turvy. Like, it's so, to think that every week I have a scare. Every 2 weeks there's a scare. It's hard. It's harder than I have ever experienced. I don't even know if this is coming out as words, but it just is. And to feel like I have no control. I don't. Because when you think about it, in a lot of those other situations that I've been in, I have been able to escape them. You know, I've been able to get away from them. I've been able to protect myself. In this, I can't. Because how do you protect yourself from something that you love that is inside you? You know, I love her so much. How do I stop myself from loving her? I can't. The moment I found out I was pregnant, it was like I could be a mom again. And it's tough. And so I feel like I can do this. I can. But at the same time, there is that emotional, like, insanity of, like, we keep doing this over and over again, and we expect a different outcome. We do. We expect to have a baby this time. You know? Like, we expect that shit. We expect for her to be born. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane for us to expect her to be alive? Like, out with our history. And, guys, I'm telling you, it's tough. But at the same time, like, when she comes out, and she's got my fat cheeks, and if she's got to wear glasses like Tony, and she's got those deep brown eyes that he has, like, thinking about it makes me happy inside. Thinking about the fact that she might live makes me excited. For some of us, it's not so easy. And, you know, I had someone say, oh, at least you can get pregnant. Getting pregnant and being pregnant isn't so easy. Especially when you've been through what we've been through, you know? This isn't easy. It's not. And if there's anyone else that's going through this right now, seeing these videos, making videos of their own, you know what I mean. It's not easy. Anyway, today I'm pregnant, and today I'm progressing.